Hello students! This week you will be taking quiz 1 and giving your first informative speeches, so it's kind of a big week in the class. So I wanted to make video to show you all, talk to you about a little bit about what you're going to be doing this week and the requirements for that. So quiz 1 is over chapters 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 15. I know that sounds a little odd, but chapter 15 is over giving informative speeches, which is something you're doing this week as well. So it kind of makes sense when you think of it that way. The other thing you'll be doing is giving your first informative speeches. So basically we're just diving right in. You're going to have speeches most weeks in this class. So this is the first major speech. It's worth 35 points, which is a little bit more than your self-introduction speeches, but not quite as much as some of the speeches that you'll do later on down the road. So first of all, you need to make sure that you have your handbook if you don't already, because if you haven't figured it out, the handbook is kind of vital to this class. It has all of the rubrics for all of the speeches, samples of the outlines that you're supposed to put together, formats for the outlines, and a lot of other resources that we use in the class. So the rubric for the first informative speech is on page 11. You'll pick your own topics for the speeches in this class, so when you start to pick your topic, start thinking about that. Just think about something that you know a little bit about. It can be a hobby that you have or some area of knowledge that you already have, and then go from there. That's the best place to start. And if you're having trouble, there are a lot of different websites on the internet that have lists of speeches, speech topics that might be able to help jog your brain a little bit, or you're more than welcome to give me a call or shoot me an email and I can try to help you out with that as well. So other things to keep in mind with this speech is that it's more highly structured than your self-informative or self-introduction speech. So you will have an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. And as long as you've been keeping up with your readings in the book, that should make some sense to you. If not, I would recommend reading those chapters in the book for this week before you start your first informative speech. Either way, you'll want to get started on prepping for this speech early, because you want to have time after you put together your outline to practice your speech repeatedly, so that when you do go to record your speech video, you will be able to speak extemporaneously. You won't be reading from your notes or reading from the computer screen or whatnot. You will also be required to gather evidence for this speech. There are very few requirements about what kind of evidence that needs to be, but like for instance, if you give your speech about how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, you may want to do a little bit of research about different kinds of bread, different kinds of peanut butter, and you could say, you know, according to Jif Peanut Butter's website, it has this many grams of fat, or something like that, just as an example. So other than that, I don't really have a whole lot else to tell you this week. If you come across any problems or have any questions as you're putting this first speech together, please feel free to contact me. I'm here in the office a lot if you're in the Wichita area. If you're not, we can do a video conference. We can talk on the phone, text, tweet, whatever. So please reach out if you're having trouble, and I look forward to seeing your first informative speeches.